This is part of a series of videos about one specific problem, 2/3 plus 1/4. Using Conceptua fractions free tools, we're modeling whole class discussions that lead to a deep understanding for students. We're using a variety of tools to represent the problem in multiple ways. Now in this video, we use the Unitizing with Pattern Blocks tool. Since we know that the solution for the problem is going to involve twelfths, we're going to create our own template here that divides a whole into 12 equal parts. It's pretty easy to create the template. And once I declare that the value equals 1, it shows up in a very clear manner on the screen. I lock that into place. I've got my 12 twelfths. 4 and 4 and 4, 12 twelfths. Now I'm going to begin with the students by posing a challenge to the group. And the challenge is, can you represent thirds using this model? Use colors and represent thirds. Use shading to represent thirds. And they can be working at their desk with pencil and paper, and some are going to come up to the interactive whiteboard or to my computer, whether or not it's an interactive whiteboard, and they're going to make these thirds. So one possibility is that a student could say, I've got a way to make thirds. That represents 1/3, and they can color the next triangle, which consists of 4 triangles, in a different color, and likewise the third one, and they've got their thirds. So the students are working in their own way. There might be other ways to represent thirds, and they create thirds. And so we go ahead and we record the students' observations. Using the Polyvision, there are clever ways that we can do this. And one way is to say, okay, one of these in total, this whole group equals 1/3. Great, we're good. Now we put another challenge forth for the students. And that is, show me a way to represent fourths. So different students can have different solutions. Here's an example of a solution. A student may say, well, here's a way to represent fourths. If I populate 1/4 of each of these 3 equal parts with the color green, the green is 1/4 across the whole unit. That's true. Another student may approach it a little bit differently and say, what I would do is color each one of these 3 shapes this way. Go ahead and do more coloring. And in this case, the green is all 1/4, the blue is all 1/4, and the reds are all 2/4. Great, that's all good stuff. So you're having a holistic conversation with the class. And then you say, well, let's get some conclusions out of this. What comprises for this whole 1/4? Well, 3 of the triangles make 1/4. Great, so we're going to look at that. So 3 of these triangles, anytime we have 3 of the little triangles, that equals 1/4. And then we say, well, now that we know what 1/3 is, what 1/4 is, I have a challenge for you. And the challenge is to solve the problem 2/3 plus 1/4. You tell me, what does that equal? So now we have another opportunity here. And the students can have their own solutions. I'll come up with one right now pretty quickly. We'll make 2/3. And we know that 1/4 is any 3 of these triangles. So there we go. 2/3 plus 1/4. We've modeled 2/3 plus 1/4. And then we take one next step, which is to say, now that we see 2/3 plus 1/4, how can we describe this as a numeric value? And the class can then have more discussion. And what we're looking for is for them to articulate, well, there were 12 equal parts to begin with. 11 of them are now populated with color. They're shaded. And so we can say that the answer is that 2/3 plus 1/4 equals 11/12. So 2/3 plus 1/4 equals 11/12. And we've seen that in a very clear, visual manner. So take a look at the other videos on the same problem. Consider using one tool each day, 10 minutes, to build a really deep understanding for the students.